Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to Candy's Cozy Couch. My name is Candace, and my nickname is Candy. That's how I came up with that really interesting name. At least I think it's pretty interesting. Well, boys and girls, you see I have my nephews on the Cozy Couch with me this week. I have Christopher.
Hi.
And Chase.
Hi.
Excellent. And we are here, of course. We're going to do our checklist at this time. We got instruments, so you know how we do. Let me just get everybody settled here. Sticks running away, but I caught them. Chase, we're going to have to probably, can you hold your sticks? Oh, Jesus, you're going to knock me out with them. Yikes. We got to move him out your way in order for you to play the drum. Okay? And then you have to choke up on him.
Please.
Yeah, hold it. Let me help you. One in each hand. And then you just play it. It sits on your lap and you tap it with that. Okay? Got it? You got room?
Yep.
All right. And Christopher, you are doing the xylophone. So bear with us, guys. You have to move those guys out of your way so that you can play the xylophone. Now, let me get your sticks. Yes, the band is getting ready. The band is getting ready. Good. Yep, you got room there? Make sure some of these guys can get out of your way. All right, and I got these items. So we're going to get Christopher get going on the xylophone here. And I'll be in the middle just kind of shaking. Play your drum, Chase. Get on the beat. Hit the drum. It's time for the checklist. It's time for the checklist. Hit the drum. It's time for the checklist. It's time for the checklist. Just like this. Encore. Hit those tunes. Woo! Checklist time. All right. Thank you, boys, for helping me out with that. Let me get these out of our way. The couch actually turns into Candy's crowded couch because I got extra people on the couch. Grab your cuddle buddies again. All right, boys. Did you eat a good dinner? Are your stomachs all full? That's a check. Boop. All right. Are your rooms clean? Did we clean the room? We don't have a dirty bedroom. Check. Let's see. Is your homework done? All the homework. Sit up tall so they see you. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. What else? Did we I'm trying to think. Did we take our baths or our showers?
Ding, 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 ding.
Excellent. We're going to tuck him down so he's not hiding you. Did you put on your favorite PJs? Thumbs up. We are here with our PJs. Check. All right. Did we brush our teeth? Are our teeth white and shiny and glistening? That's a thumbs up. That's a check. All right. Let me see. What else? Do we have a night light? We have a night light. We're ready. All right, cool. Okay, let's see. Did we brush our hair? Everywhere we all brushed our hair. And girls, if you need to wrap your hair or rubber band, tie up, use a scarf, a bonnet, whatever you have, make sure you do that. Check. All right. Did we give our I love yous, hugs, kisses, and smooches to our family members and or pets that are in the house? Not yet, but y'all know how I do it. All right, we got it. We got that covered. Check. All right, let's see what else. We're almost there. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't skip anything important. I know we're gonna say our prayers after, but did you guys, boys and girls, say your prayers? If you have not said your prayers, please make sure that you say them before you go off into dreamland. All right, boys, get ready to listen. Please sit back and get comfy and cozy because it is Black History Month and we are showcasing awesome people of color that have done or are doing magnificent, awesome, cool, really interesting things. This is a biography, which is a story written by someone else about that person. And this is the story of Ruby Bridges. I'm going to tell you who it's by. It's by Robert Coles and is illustrated by George Ford. So I'm going to show the boys what the book has to offer. Oh. This little girl is only 6 years old in this book. Now, I will say this. Ruby Bridges still is alive today and still alive today. And she's like about 2 years younger than my mom, actually. Younger than you guys' grandma. Okay, so on the back it says, "This is the true story of an extraordinary 6-year-old girl. Ruby Bridges helped shape American history when she became the first American sent, or I should say African American, sent to first grade in an all-white school. This moving picture book captures the courage of a little girl standing alone in the face of racism." Okay. No fidget finger. So, let's get started on the story. This is the story of Ruby Bridges. Remember, this is a biography written by a different person about someone. Yes, I'm about to show it to you right now. Basically, when I open the book, you guys can see the pictures. You can be looking while I'm reading, but I will show you. All right, here we go. Now I have to say this little part about what her mom said. Her mom said, "Our Ruby taught us all a lot. She became someone who helped change our country. She was part of history, just like generals and presidents are part of history. They're leaders, and so was Ruby. She led us away from hate, and she led us nearer to knowing each other, the white folks and the black folks." This is a quote from Ruby's mother, so I'm going to show you what those words look like. All right, here we go. It says, "Ruby Bridges was born in a small cabin near Tylertown, Mississippi. We were very poor, very, very poor," Ruby said. "My daddy worked picking crops. We just barely got by. There were times when we didn't have much to eat. The people who owned the land were bringing in machines to pick the crops. So my daddy lost his job, and that's when we had to move. I remember us leaving. I was 4, I think." So you see her in the picture right there.
Yeah, she's just sitting
Just sitting there, kind of looking sad, huh? In that picture. Boys and girls, check this out. Remember, she was 6 years old when she first went to that school. All right, the next one says, "In 1957, the family moved to New Orleans. Ruby's father became a janitor. Her mother took care of the children during the day. After they were tucked in bed, Ruby's mother went to work scrubbing floors in a bank. Every Sunday, the family went to church. We wanted our children to be near God's Spirit," Ruby's mother said. "We wanted them to start feeling close to Him from the very start." And there we go. I'm going to show you, boys and girls. Got 2 pages to read here. "At that time, black children and white children were sent to separate schools in New Orleans. The black children were not able to receive the same education as the white children. It wasn't fair, and it was against the nation's law." So it was actually against the law. "In 1960, a judge ordered 4 black girls to go to 2 white elementary schools. 3 of the girls were sent to McDonald. 19. 6-year-old Ruby Bridges was sent to first grade in the William Franz Elementary School." So 4 of them were in a different grade, a little older, so they went to a different school. Do you see that, Chase? The judge says, "How are we going to let them go to the white school with the white kids?" And that's that. That's final. That was the judge's order. All right, let's see. Ruby's parents were proud of their daughter. They were proud their daughter had been chosen to take part in an important event in American history. They went to church. We sat there and prayed to God. Ruby's mother said that we'd all be strong and we'd have courage and we'd get through any trouble. And Ruby would be a good girl and she'd hold her head up high and be a credit to her own people and a credit to all the American people. We prayed long and we prayed hard. And there they are in church, all dressed up nice. Sitting there praying with their hands together, which we will pray before we go to bed, boys and girls. We will do that. All right, we are making it through. Let's see what happens. All right. On Ruby's first day, a large crowd of angry white people gathered outside the Franz Elementary School. The people carried signs that said they didn't want black children in a white school. People called Ruby names. Some wanted to hurt her. The city and state police did not help Ruby. The President of the United States ordered federal marshals to walk with Ruby into the school building. The marshals carried guns. Oh, this is serious. Do you guys see all those people? They actually came up to the school just to yell and shout at the little girl because they didn't want her to go to that school. Check this out, boys and girls. This is our history, though. This is what has happened back in the past, back in the day before a lot of you guys were born. This is what a lot of people fought for. So Ruby, a little girl, just like you guys, boys and girls, she was one of the first. Every day for weeks, that turned into months, Ruby experienced that kind of school day. She walked to the Franz school surrounded by marshals, wearing a clean dress and a bow in her hair and carrying her lunch pail. Ruby walked slowly for the first few blocks. As Ruby approached the school, she saw a crowd of people marching up and down the street, men and women and children shouting at her. They pushed towards her. The marshals kept them from Ruby by threatening to arrest them. Ruby would hurry through the crowd and not say a word. So she had them there to protect her. You see her and all those people.
What is the marshals?
The marshals are the people who are standing right next to her. Like they literally had to make a circle around her to protect her as she went into the school. The white people in the neighborhood would not send their children to school. When Ruby got inside the building, she was all alone except for her teacher, Miss Henry. There were no other children to keep Ruby company, to play with and learn with, to eat lunch with. But every day, Ruby went into the classroom with a big smile on her face, ready to get down to the business of learning. She was polite and she worked well at her desk. Miss Henry said she enjoyed her time there. She didn't seem nervous at all, or anxious, or irritated, or scared. She seemed normal and relaxed as any child I've ever taught. So Ruby began learning how to read and write in the empty classroom and empty building. So they literally, when this first started out, she literally went in, and because the other people were being so stubborn, they wouldn't let their kids come to school. So she took all along, a brave little girl, 6 years old, just like you, Chris. That's how old you are, right?
Right.
You're 6. Can do amazing things if you put your mind to it. Sometimes I'd look at her and wonder how she did it, said Miss Henry. How she went to through those mobs and sat here all by herself and yet seemed so relaxed and comfortable. Miss Henry would question Ruby in order to find out if the girl was really nervous and afraid, even though she seemed calm and confident. But Ruby kept saying she was doing fine. The teacher decided to wait and see if Ruby would keep on being so relaxed and hopeful, or if she gradually began to wear down, or even decide that she no longer wanted to go to school. So I love it that she never gave up and she kept going to school so that she could learn. You gotta keep your hands out your mouth. So I'm going to show you guys how she's still sitting in that lonely classroom all by herself. Let's see if anything changes. All right, let's see. Then one morning, something happened. Miss Henry stood by the window in her classroom as she usually did, watching Ruby walk towards the school. Suddenly, Ruby stopped right in front of the mob of howling and screaming people. She stood there facing all those men and women. She seemed to be talking to them. Uh-oh. Ruby stopped in front of all of the mob of people and started talking to them. I wonder what she was saying. Or at least that's what the teacher's seeing out the window. Maybe it's not really that at all, but who knows. Let's see. Miss Henry saw Ruby's lips moving and wondering what Ruby could be saying. The crowd seemed ready to kill her. The marshals were frightened. They tried to persuade Ruby to move along. They tried to hurry her into the school, but Ruby wouldn't budge. Then Ruby stopped talking and walked into the school. So whatever she said it, and when she was done saying it, she went on ahead and went into school. Boy, the illustrator, I really like the way these pictures look. The illustrator did a very good job. George Ford did a very good job on these pictures in this book. All right. When she went into the classroom, Miss Henry asked her, "What happened?" Miss Henry said, Ruby, that she'd been watching and that she was surprised when Ruby stopped and talked with the people in the mob. Ruby became irritated. "I didn't stop to talk with them," she said. "Ruby, I saw you talking," Miss Henry said. "I saw your lips moving." "I wasn't talking," said Ruby. "I was praying. I was praying for them." Every morning, Ruby had stopped a few blocks away from school to say a prayer for the people who hated her. This morning, she forgot until she got already in the middle of all of the angry mob. So she had forgot to say the prayer. So that's what she was saying. That's why her mouth was moving. She was saying a prayer for all those people that were out there being hateful and petty and just irritating, because they could have went to school with her. Shoot. Let's see. When school was over for the day, Ruby hurried through the mob as usual. After she walked a few blocks and the crowd was behind her, Ruby said the prayer she repeated twice a day, before and after school. This is the prayer that she said. "Please, God, try to forgive people, because even if they say those bad things, they don't know what they're doing. So you could forgive them, just like you did those folks a long time ago when they said terrible things about you." Oh, that was a pretty good prayer. Stretch out. Got some room. No fidgeting. And she says she clasped her fingers together. She says her prayer. Awesome job. Now at the end, it's the afterword part. It says, later that year, two white boys joined Ruby at the Friends Elementary School. Their parents were tired of seeing the boys get into mischief around the house when they could have been in school learning. The mob became very angry when the first white boys went back to school, but those boys were soon joined by other children. "We've been sitting back and letting our children get cheated out of an education because some people have tried to take the law into their own hands. One parent said, "It's time for us to fight for the side of the law and for our children's right to go to school and get their education." They all did get their education. Ruby and a growing number of boys and girls who went to school with her. By the time Ruby was in the 2nd grade, the mobs have given up their struggle to scare Ruby, and they tried to defeat the federal judge order that New Orleans schools be desegregated so that children of all races might be in the same classroom. Year after year, Ruby went to the Friends School. She graduated from it, then went on to graduate from high school. So that's awesome. And we'll just stop it at that. There's like a little bit more left, but you can see the picture of her walking away. All that from a 6-year-old girl just trying to go to school and get her education and learn. That is the end of tonight's story. I think Ruby Bridges is an awesome lady. Yeah, we should give her a round of applause for doing that for so young, and she's still alive today. She still lives in New Orleans. Awesome job. Well, boys and girls, of course, say your prayers first, but it's now time to drift off into dreamland. Maybe you can dream that you're like the first to do something awesome and special. It doesn't even have to be the first little kid to go to an all-white school or the first kid to go to school ever or whatever. It's up to you in your dreams. Really, you can use your imagination. But the way we do it is like this. You simply close your eyes. Once you're laying in your bed all comfy and cozy and snug as a bug in a rug, under your blanket, you simply close your eyes. Whisper to yourself what you would like to dream about. Relax your body. Be calm. Be relaxed. Be safe. Be comfy, cozy. And then just let your body drift off to sleep so that you can dream your special dream. And on that note, sir, we're going to bid you a good night so that you can do that. Let's wave goodbye, guys. Let's tell these guys bye.
Bye.
We'll see you next time, boys and girls.
See you next night.
Bye-bye.